Welcome to Truth by Billie Beene. Today's date, February 17, 2025. Time in Texas, about 5 p.m. I have a subscribe button in the lower right corner of my screen. Thanks for like, subscribe, and share, and for hitting the like button, which helps my channel to grow. Some of the things we'll cover in this flash update. President Trump, take down the cartels and the U.S. politicians who received cartel money. President Trump is going to pursue peace in Ukraine and take down European saboteurs. Some of my sources are God in the Bible, Patriot Subscriber, Dr. William Mount, Alex CHRISTEFEROU, Hal Turner, Alexander MERCOURIS, plus. So let's get started. So we have this coming out from Hal Turner, Intel. So President Trump, one of the first executive orders he signed after he was inaugurated, January 20, was to declare the cartels as being terrorist organizations and to eradicate them completely. New information came out today from Hal Turner's site. President Trump is also, and his team, are also in the process of identifying U.S. politicians and federal, state, and local governments, both Democrats and Republicans, who benefited from the cartels and received political contributions, ad buys, or, commercials, campaign workers, plus some of the people he has identified so far to investigate. And we know we look any day now for Kash Patel to be confirmed as President Trump's director of the FBI. He also has in place his Attorney General, Pam Bondi. So things are moving along. Some of the people who are being investigated: Ruben Gallardo, Senator, Democrat, Arizona; Adam Schiff, Senator, Democrat, California; Barack Obama, JB and KH; Eric Holder. Under Obama, Eric Holder was his AG. Nancy Pelosi, formerly a senator, Democrat, California; Alex Padilla, senator, Democrat, California; Gavin Newsom, governor of California; Mayor Todd Gloria, Democrat, San Diego, California; Governor Katie Hobbs, Democrat, Arizona; Governor Kathy Hochul, Democrat, New York; and hundreds more. So we see why we're seeing the Dems possibly working with Iran to take President Trump down. And currently we still have 2 B-52 bombers over Iran with their weapons status red, and they have been over Iran 12 hours plus. This is still going on. This afternoon they were refueled about 1 to 2 p.m. Texas time. So we need to be in prayer for those pilots who are in the air and weapons ready over Iran. So that's going on. And now we have this. From a Patriot subscriber. The deep state has infiltrated the U.S. government for the last 50 years. 2020 was a coup. I agree. And we have this. The deep state uses U.S. government money to manipulate weather, plant explosives, bring about terrorist attacks, and many in the government are traitors. Yes, and we see President Trump investigating. And we have this. The deep state goal through the U.S. and the world is to take the population down by 3 billion. Agenda 2030 through the UN, cartels, deep state, plus. And I brought out in my previous video that the DIM plan, if KH had been able to be put in place, was to bring about mutual nuclear destruction between Russia and the U.S. by summer, to take out 90% of the U.S. population and 90% of the Russian population. But we see God, the American people, and I believe the Russian people, President Trump and President Putin are now pursuing peace. And we have this from DURAN'YT, and that's Alex CHRISTEFEROU and Alexander MERCOURIS. We know that President Trump's team, headed by his Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, and President Putin's team, headed by Foreign Minister Lavrov, are meeting with Mohammed bin Salman in Saudi Arabia today. So that's going on. And it's believed they can lay down some basic things to agree on. And then in 7 to 10 days, again in Saudi Arabia, President Trump and President Putin will meet to sign the peace treaty. And we have this, that many things are being talked about, not the least of which is normalizing relationships between the U.S. and Russia to include embassies, trade, investment, and the use of the U.S. dollar, the returning of BRICS nations being able to use the SWIFT system, and we would reasonably believe if the U.S. desired to use the BRICS payment system, the agreement would be reciprocal. So that's going on. And now we have this. Oh, yeah. So we have Europeans. This is being put forward by Alexander MERCOURIS. The Europeans' scheme to interject themselves into this peace agreement process between the U.S. and Russia regarding Ukraine, and to also put tens of thousands of European troops into Ukraine as peacekeepers, which Russia will never accept. And also UK leader Keir Starmer also wants to put Ukraine on the path to becoming part of NATO, which Russia also will never accept. And Russia, as a member of the a group in UN, can simply veto the peacekeepers. So that's going on. Peacekeepers have to go through the UN. Alex CHRISTEFEROU has confirmed at the today also emergency meeting in Europe, and President Trump looks upon these European leaders meeting today in Europe as being saboteurs working on a plan to destroy a peace agreement between the U.S. and Russia. So meeting today in Europe, Macron, the leader of France, Schulz, the leader of Germany, Starmer, the leader of UK, Meloni, the leader of Italy, Donald Tusk, Prime Minister of Poland, Pedro Sanchez, Prime Minister of Spain, Dick Schoof, Prime Minister of Netherlands, Mette Frederiksen, Prime Minister of Denmark, Ursula von der Leyen, who is German and the President of the European Union, Antonio Costa from Portugal, who is the President of the European Council, and Mark Rutte, the leader of NATO. President Trump has identified these European leaders as being potential saboteurs. And from Alex CHRISTEFEROU, the Europeans are angry that they were cut out of the peace deal between U.S. and Russia. And we know Zelensky, the actor, is putting up a pouting face. And we have Russia says they will welcome back MasterCard and Visa in Russia. Russia would like peace by Easter. I believe President Trump also would like that. And the Europeans are in a panic. They're having an emergency meeting in Paris to sabotage peace. And we have this from Dr. William Mount. President Trump has already cut the number of employees in the bloated U.S. federal government by 300,000 employees and also cut $5 trillion in expenditures. Way to go, President Trump. Now we have this intel from Hal Turner. President Trump today, February 17, is holding meetings with his people to talk about the European sabotage piece currently going on in the meeting in Paris. On the table for President Trump and his team is for the U.S. to completely withdraw immediately from NATO if Europe dares to sabotage the peace talks between the U.S. and Russia. The U.S. immediately also will withdraw U.S. troops from Europe. President Trump is an effective leader. And we have this, that, the European nations have failed to meet their financial requirements under NATO agreement, which is 2% of GDP. Most European nations don't meet that. The U.S. has made it clear Europe will not be involved in the peace talks between the U.S. and Russia. And it is President Trump's belief and his action he's taking and meeting with his team today that the Europeans, the leaders I identified to you a few minutes ago, are in the process of trying to put together crafty, scheming plans to sabotage peace talks between the U.S. and Russia. And if so, the U.S. will immediately say to Europe, defend yourselves. This concludes my flash. It's good to pray for America, the U.S. military, President Trump, and world peace. I love you, and I'll see you soon.